Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you? First, I want to thank you for helping me, my mother, and all the mutants.
I don't really feel like I helped your mother, but if you say so.
Sometimes you have to look beyond appearances. I miss her a lot, but at least she did not suffer thanks to you. But let's get back to what I wanted to talk about with you. I managed to get in touch with a man who can provide us with military equipment. And we are going to need it because we have to be able to defend ourselves. But that man will never do business with a mutant. That is why I need you to negotiate in my place. If you wanted to look like a merchant from Noctis and go to the meeting point with me, I'm sure that he would agree to sell you the surplus we need so much.
That doesn't sound too complicated. I guess I can do it.
Thank you. We will never forget what you did for us, Zach. Come join me when you find a merchant outfit, and we will go to the meeting point together. It is below a shadow path. I will show it to Amelia.
What really happened with your mother? I must say I didn't understand much. That stone? The police's arrival?
My mother was helping me as much as she could to carry out my mission. She would provide me with information, sometimes hide mutants on the run before they could leave the city. She was a wonderful woman, Zach, but someone turned her in. Fiorello heard and raced to get me out with your aid. Though how I yearned to save her, to get to the slums to warn her. But I knew I could not. You, though, could. The stone was a token of recognition. She knew what it meant. If she was turned in, she had to leave as soon as possible. And if she couldn't, the drawing was made with an ink made of jellyfish venom.
But why give her that poison?
I didn't want her to die, Zach. I loved my mother. But I knew what the ASC would do to her in their jail. If they caught her, she needed a way to avoid being tortured.
When did you discover that you were a mutant?
The first symptoms of mutation appeared when I was very young. I must say that I can't really remember very well. My mother noticed them, and she taught me how to hide the marks, even though I think that I didn't know what it meant. She was hoping to keep me close to her, but as soon as the first marks appeared on my face, they spotted me out right away. I will never forget my arrest, how violent they were toward my mother. I was just a kid. I was sent to one of the farms on the outskirts of town. That's where I learned what it meant to be a mutant.
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, a very unique one, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
most exotic goods on the planet. All here, in one stop.
Set up the exchange with that Aurora quartermaster if he was a complete stranger.
Some mutants aspire for freedom everywhere, Aurora included. When I learned that the quartermaster was looking to dispose of stocks and merchandise, I sent messengers.
Messengers? Mutant messengers? And he still took the messages seriously?
No, I paid humans, noble-looking ones too. Plus, we have a few sympathizers over there, some of which are merchants who are always more than helpful, for a price.
I thought you didn't want Dan Dolo in the loop.
Indeed, I had to pay them. A lot. If there's any corporation you want to be heard talking about, just talk about Alliance. Avoid the others. Don't want to start anything.
Hey Zach, count on me if you need some help during the transaction. I've got real-life experience after all.
Phobos, if Dandolo finds out you're plotting behind his back...
He's my ally, Nisha, not my mother. Which means I don't have to tell him what I'm doing at every hour. I think that our negotiator's already there. He must be waiting for us below the Shadow Path.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see you dressed in all merchant duds while doing some form of improvised acting. It's gonna be terrible. All aspects terrible. 0 out of 10 terrible. Why didn't you ask a real merchant, Phobos?
You know what merchants are like. They will likely get upset when they realize I'm outsourcing equipment from another source. They revel in their monopoly. They can set whatever prices they want.
Well, ain't that the definition of merchant friendship, eh? Do they really help, even though they rip you off?
Loyal customers produce loyal sellers. It's mutually beneficial. They're merchants, after all.
Hi, I'm Zachariah. Are you Sincerity?
Yes. Your message mentioned that you're a merchant and that you may be interested in some merchandise. I have some overstock that I'm willing to sell, but I want to be sure that this merchandise won't end up in enemy hands. Please understand that the safety of our corporation depends on it, and that I don't want any of my superiors to learn about this type of transaction.
I hear where you're coming from. Don't worry though, the stocks won't be resold together. I'll spread them out here and there so no one will be able to track the sales back to you. And obviously, if the stock's disseminated, your enemies will have a harder time mounting a strong enough offense to harm you.
Do you have a wide enough network to disseminate the merchandise afterwards? It's true that that's a pretty good solution. Very well then. I think that we can do business. Someday, I will kill that madman.
Who is this mutant? Why did he kill the merchant?
Cain. He refused any type of relationship with humans, and I guess that is his way of showing me that he disagrees with my trying to do business with them. But he failed the negotiation I had been working on for months without even realizing that we need these weapons. Anyway, I guess I need to find another way to stock up.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
The fucking hell! He fucked it all up! Don't you guys fucking talk to each other?
Because we share a similar exterior does not mean we share the same goals, Amelia, or the same thoughts on the best methods to obtain them.
so sorry, Phobos.
Don't be. Had I known that Kane would intervene, I would have never arranged our meeting there.
Kane, what a guy. Looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Instead, he'd kill hundreds.
He hates humans, hates their guts, and he won't stop until he dies. And unfortunately, he has a lot of followers. Such a waste. All that time spent for that exchange to turn into nothing. If I find out who told Kane about the meeting, I'd show him what makes me different from scum.
Take it easy, big guy. With all these intercorporation wars, finding weapons won't be too difficult. I could ask around for you.
Why, thank you, Andrew.
We were lucky Kane didn't attack you too, Phobos. He obviously doesn't like you. You're his natural competition for chief.
I say bring him on. That brute doesn't scare me.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
Hey.
Hey, back.